So, how is it that Tai Chi is such an amazing practice for balance improvement, reducing fall risk, strengthening your core? Well, I think it is like the reverse of the Mr. Miyagi teaching method. If you recall back with the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi made Daniel-san wax his cars all day long until Daniel got so pissed off he was like reaching that peak, this is some bull moment. And then Mr. Miyagi started throwing some punches, and Daniel was able to block the punches. And so he had learned a technique without knowing it. So I think Tai Chi does the same thing in reverse for our daily body movements, because we practice all of these Tai Chi motions over and over again, thousands of times in slow motion. And in most cases, we're not going to be using this for any martial arts application. But then we find ourselves walking down a hill, and suddenly we're doing it in a much more graceful manner and with lower impact on our joints. And so that is the magic. The Tai Chi movements translate into the activities we do every day. And in this lesson, I'm going to talk to you about one of those specific movements, which is play the fiddle. This is a movement in the Tai Chi 24 form that comes after brush knee, which was my last lesson. So today we're going to do play the fiddle, and I'm going to talk to you about the technique of play the fiddle, and then we're going to show you how this translates to your walking downhill in your everyday life with soft foot placement and no impact on your knees. If you are new to the channel, I'm Dr. Todd Martin, creator of the Tai Chi Code. Let's go ahead and jump right in. But as you're watching the video, make sure to stay till the end. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and click the like button and drop me a comment and let me know what you think. First, let me show you movement by movement how we transition from brush knee into play the fiddle. So we're here in our bow stance, pushing forward with the right palm. Left palm is pushing down after brushing by the left knee. Now we're going to do a half step up. So we're going to shift our weight to the left leg and let the right leg pull in. And then we're going to shift the weight back, keeping the body facing forward. And then we're going to move into empty stance. And then we're going to bring the heel down. The left palm should be facing to the right, and the right palm facing to the left by the left elbow. The half step up is similar to what we did in Crane Cools Its Wings following parting the wild horse's mane. We did a half step up like this, and then we shifted back and into empty stance. The footwork looks very similar, but what's going on with the arms is different because of the different core position we are in when we do the movement. So when we did parting the wild horse's mane and then did the step up, in this position, we were turning forward with the left side of the upper waist. So if you're familiar with the terminology of empty and full, we were full on the left side and empty on the right. And in order to step up, what we did was turn the right side forward, creating fullness on the right and emptying the left. That created the half step up. In brush knee, we're in the opposite position. We're full on the right, which is why the right arm is projecting forward in brush knee, as opposed to the left arm projected forward in parting the wild horse's mane. So we are forward on the right, and for the half step up, now we switch to being forward on the left. So we fill the left, empty the right. What is similar between the two movements is that we shift our root to the left leg. That uses the lower abs. I'll link the video on how to change your root in the description section, so you can check that out after you've watched this whole video. So we are changing the root from right to left as we go up from brush knee to the half step up. In Parting the Wild Horse's mane, the root was already on the left after this motion, and all I had to do was turn the waist to bring the foot up. So in brush knee transitioning to play the fiddle, we have to change the upper waist and lower waist motion. Then we shift back into empty stance in the same manner that we did going into Crane Cools Its Wings, but the arms are already in a different position. So we've prepped differently. So I shift back, changing the root to the right while I'm turning to the left with the upper waist. And then we get into empty stance by continuing the root on the right, but turning the upper waist back to the right, filling the left side, emptying the right. And that is placing me into empty stance. And then I reach down with the heel of my left foot by extending from the glute, and I turn the upper waist forward on the right. So I'm actually filling the right side, emptying the left with the upper waist as I bring the heel down, like that. If I didn't do that rotation, changing the direction of the waist rotation, from here, if I just extend the hip, that is what's going to happen. I'm going to end up stepping backward. So in order to step forward and down, I have to turn the upper waist towards the extending hip as I reach down. So you want to feel that core motion as you do it. Now, when you're doing it normally, you're not actually going to see the rotation happening. It's very subtle. The rotation just creates the movement. You don't have to over-rotate to make it happen. So I'm just emphasizing that so you can see the direction of rotation. A lot of Tai Chi movements, we can't really see what the core is doing. We have to rely on what the arms are doing to reflect that. In the Tai Chi Code, this position I refer to as the core technique of pluck. We have extension of the hip, upper waist turning towards the extending hip, lower waist turning away from the extending hip. We see this in lots of movements in Tai Chi. We see this when we're doing cloud hands, upper waist turning towards the extending hip, lower waist turning away from the extending hip. We see this in the first movement of Fair Lady Works the Shuttle before we do a push. We see this in Pick Up Needles at Sea Bottom, extending the hip, turning the upper waist towards the extending hip, lower waist away from the extending hip. And the last one I'll show is we see this in Single Whip. Upper waist is turning towards the extending hip, lower waist turning away from the extending hip. That's what creates this movement in Single Whip. So we see this movement all the time in the form, and it's generally not given a name. But I'm naming this in the Tai Chi Code as the energy of pluck. Now, how do we use this in our daily lives? We use this when we are walking downhill. There's a number of other times where we will use the same energy, but I won't go into that here. I just want to emphasize how we use this when we're going downhill. When we are walking on level ground, we're projecting our body weight forward of the rear leg as we take a step. But when we want to go downhill, we need to stop that forward progression. And we need to sink down and bring the leg forward where we're balanced on the rear leg. And then we go down the hill, placing the heel like this. And then we shift forward and down, and we shift forward again and down, and we kind of sink down with each step as we're going down the hill, but we're passing through this position here, and then we're doing the same motion that we do in Play the Fiddle. We just don't have the arms up in this position. So the arms are going like this when we're walking downhill. reflecting the rotation of the upper waist. So when we apply this Tai Chi teaching technique, Mr. Miyagi style, to our walking, we're able to move downhill with very little impact on the heel, very soft placement. And if you do it that way, your knees and your back are going to really love you for it. And they're going to thank you for practicing Tai Chi. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think. The channel's only about 3 days old so far, and it seems like it's going pretty good. And I hope you will stick with me as I go through the entire Tai Chi 24 form. Have a great day.